Oh, hi. Well, it's time for the Oscars. This is an unusual and exciting event this year. For the first time ever, 4 of the movies nominated for Best Picture tell an exciting, dramatic, and sometimes disturbing story about apartment investing in the Puget Sound region. Patty and I applaud the courage of the producers, the vision of the directors, and the insightful portrayal by the actors who captured the quintessential essence of the 21st century apartment investor. So let's take a look at these 4 movies right now. In Nebraska, Bruce Dern took on the thankless role of an easily misled apartment investor. Bruce looked to cash in a sweepstake ticket that proves the old adage, if it sounds too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. Apartment investment can be a good thing, but investors can run into trouble when capitalization rates fall below mortgage rates. Just think about it this way. How's this really going to work? You buy a property that produces a 5% return, and you borrow money at 6% to buy the property. You do the math. That happened a half a dozen years ago to investors, and recent trends suggest we might be seeing a repeat performance. Remember, you're in this for more than just a free baseball cap. Sandra Bullock in Gravity made a persuasive case that things can go very wrong for investors who don't pay attention. Her shuttle mission, STS-157, was really the director's creative way of showing what happens to apartment investors who don't really pay attention and don't put enough money into maintaining their properties, putting enough into capital expenses. By comparison, the International Space Station, the Soyuz, and most desperately the space debris all represented apartment properties in various stages of disrepair and disintegration. This movie is an unabashed clarion call to investors who don't pay enough attention, who don't think that they need to invest more than $200 or $300 a unit a year in capital improvements. We just finished our annual study of operating expenses, and we found that last year investors spent on average over $900 a unit in capital improvements. And that's not unusual. Over the last 14 years, capital improvement costs have averaged more than $750 a unit a year. Captain Phillips was suspenseful and laid out a clear framework for selling apartment properties that more and more investors are following these days. Investors who saw the movie learned one of the most important lessons of their investment career. Negotiate like a Navy SEAL, not a baby seal. Meaning simply, don't negotiate with buyers. Now, we're not saying that's the right thing to do. We're just telling you what happened in the movie. But almost 40% of the sellers in our market last year heeded that advice and did not negotiate with buyers, selling their properties at or above their full listing price. That's up dramatically over just the last 4 years. Back in 2010, only 11% of the sellers refused to negotiate with buyers. Christian Bale's character in American Hustle was not a good person, but apartment investors are used to being portrayed in less than flattering ways. What's new? We all fall for a good story. We need reasons to believe in something if we're going to take action, and we want to believe. Developers are doing their part like never before, creating stories or themes for the new projects that they're building. And just like Bale's character in the movie, on-site management teams are facing a changing world and a tougher world than they've probably ever seen. Historically, property managers have had to deal with about 1,100 new units opening up in our region every quarter. But this year and next, that number is virtually tripling. Nebraska shows that the real ticket to success lies in making practical investment decisions and focusing on tangible value. Gravity clearly shows you that by ignoring capital expenses, when you think things can't get any worse, they probably will, and you might see your soaring assets crash back down to earth. Managers are certainly going to have to hustle and pitch some exciting stories to prospective renters. Captain Phillips tells you to steer your own course, hang tough in negotiations, and seal your own deal. Well, I hope that you enjoyed today's video and you'll come back next week for another weekly apartment update.